Welcome back to the second part of my stay in the Svaneti Mountains in the country of Georgia. Today, I'm going to try skiing for the first time ever, and we're going to sit down and have a proper Georgian meal. Let's do it. Good morning, guys. Day 2 in Mestia. Woke up early today and came up to Hatsvali Ski Resort. And if you hadn't noticed already, Mestia is a popular ski destination, at least for the ones who know, because I guess it's not the first place you think of when you think of skiing. You think of France or Switzerland or something like that. But apparently there is incredible snow up here. The journey up was amazing for me, winding through those mountain roads covered in snow with the trees, pine trees either side. But getting here, oh man, I didn't think it could get more beautiful. You have the ski lift, you have the skiers and the snowboarders coming down the snow. You can obviously hire equipment and ski here. We have the opportunity to do that, but I've never skied before, I've never snowboarded before, and I'm a bit nervous to do that for the first time here, in a place which is slightly off the beaten path. I'm not quite sure that's the wisest thing to do, but the beauty of this place, just every time I look at it, the trees lined with the snow, holding the snow, and the sun is just starting to peek through. But yeah, no fear anyway, we can go up the snow lift. The tour guide says there's an amazing restaurant at the top, or a restaurant at the top with an amazing view at least. So I think that's what I'll be doing. Let's do it. I just can't get over this snow. Look how pristine and amazing it is. Ah, look at that. I do love being by the beach. I do love the warm weather, but there's something about being in the mountains, isn't there? Log cabins or wooden cabins. Everyone having fun. Anyway, let's see what people are up to in here. This is the skiing group. They're trying to rope me into it, guys. I don't know if it's safe. Having never skied before. As I said, it looks amazing. Look at that. I'm tempted, but they're like, oh yeah, just go on the small one. You'll be fine. But the guide, the person who actually lives here in Mestia, is like, oh, I'm not sure. A bit too dangerous for a beginner. Oh, will peer pressure get to me? Let's see. I'm trying to watch the guys as they come down for their technique to see if I really want to do this. But I just don't think it's worth it. I would love to try it. I actually do scuba diving, and I think in my head, like, I only want to do one expensive hobby. Scuba diving is enough, but the temptation is there. If you could vote, guys, what would it be? Would you do it as a beginner? I mean, this bit looks all right, doesn't it? Well, apparently they're giving us an instructor, so fear unlocked. We're going skiing. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Having just recovered from ankle ligament damage, this might not be the smartest idea. This is it, guys. I guess peer pressure works. If you don't hear from me again, you never see another video on the channel, you know I died. But you only live once. Let's do it. Now, of course, we're only going on the baby slope, not like the hardcore people going on the other stuff, but can't believe it. Never thought I would go skiing. I didn't think it was a thing for me. Let's see. I'm a little bit nervous, I must admit. We have a guide though, as I said, or an instructor, but I'm quite competitive, and if I do something, I want to do it well. And I know I'm going to end up on my butt. I don't know how filmable it will be, but sometimes you just got to take the experiences for yourself when you're traveling, don't you? Just a walk up was a bit of an exercise. Oh, anyway, time to strap up. Right, yeah, so after the skis were clipped in, we were ready to go, and it was the first lesson, which was how to stop, which I must admit was a bit easier said than done, trying to get the balance on your feet right, and it was hurting my ankle. But after a few goes at this, we progressed to turning, and then trying to go a bit faster, but unfortunately the girl I was with gave up, so I didn't really get any of the footage. But I did get some footage of me, oh yeah, falling over. Yeah, my fan group cheering me on because I survived the skiing. First time ever, and I survived. I ended up on my butt twice, but the hardest bit was actually walking up the bunny slope, or the baby slope, to get to the start. There was no ski lift to that bit. That was the hardest bit.
And yeah, it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I couldn't really film that much, as you'd expect. You know, maybe when I'm a bit more pro, I'll get the GoPro out. But yeah, I just wanted to focus on the instructor. And he was good. He was teaching us, taught us how to stop, taught us how to turn. And at the end, we did a little slalom across the piste. That was quite fun. But yeah, if you've never tried skiing before, I definitely recommend it. I think that's a little bit of inspiration in me. I would love to get better at it, because seeing those people coming down the slopes, it looks so much fun. But when you're just a baby going about 2 miles an hour, it's not quite the same. Anyway, the snow has started, and it's time to head up the cable car to the restaurant. All right, we're gonna get our own little private one. We're on the cable car. Nearly slipped on the way up. You've got to be careful here. I meant to have hiking boots on, and I'm slipping all over the place. But look at that, goodbye, pile of snow and trees. And we're going. I think it takes about 6 minutes to get to the top. Obviously, if you buy a ski pass, it's included. You know, all these guys are going skiing. Door shut, trapped now. Got no choice. Let's do it. Off we go. I think we're gonna get some nice views. I mean, the weather is closing in just a little bit. But, well, already, look at that. Look at that. And I'll say now, Mestia, I think most people come into the Svaneti region, really. Most people come in the spring, in the summer, and in the autumn to do the hiking. So you can hike between all the little villages up here. And people, I mean, they do because they're here, but not a lot of people think of it as a winter resort. But when you see sites like this and the prices, I mean, I've not skied before, but I think people were saying the prices were pretty cheap for the day pass. I mean, you definitely should be considering it. But that is special. Cannot complain at that. Wow. You got skiers going past, snowboarders. Oh, someone's struggling. Decked it. Here they come. Oh, this is amazing. I think even if you're not a skier, even if you just want to come up and see the views, it's worth doing. Getting pretty high now, and I must say, it's not that windy today actually, but it is very stable. Only when you go past these little pillars, the station post, I guess, does it just bumble around just a little bit. We're about to hit one now, so you guys can see, but it's nothing to be scared of. Here we go. So, see, it's next to nothing. Don't be scared of it, because you do not want to miss out on this spectacular view. I mean, the forest here is unbelievable. We're at tree line as well, or at the canopy level, so you can see the tops of the trees. Oh, I love it. All right, we're at the top. Everyone's waiting for their go. I think for us, we're off to the restaurant. What a location. It's a shame actually, because the weather has started to close in just a little bit. You don't really get the views that you would do if it was a clear day. Typical that I've arrived, right? You know, it's a bit embarrassing when you see a kid skiing over there and he's already better than you. He's only about 6. That's when you start to question your choices in life. Anyway, we can all be humbled sometimes, can't we? This place though, Zarudi Cafe, is exactly as you imagine, a little mountain cabin. As I said, the view would be amazing, and I'm sure it is. You can see all the way down into the valley into Mestia, but not today. But you can't have snow if you don't have a bit of fog and mist. But it's very, very cozy inside. Let me show you. Got the fire going, center of the house, obviously, as you'd expect. Everyone chilling out in between their runs. You can grab a beer if you want. It's pretty cool. You've got a nice atmosphere. As you can imagine, music going, people having a few drinks, coffees, in from the cold, fire going in the middle, people huddled around that. And best of all, they're going to put a meal on for us. But I think we should grab a beer, right? Got myself a beer because you cannot beat having a cold beer on a cold day in a warm, log-fired cabin, or a cabin with a log fire, should I say. And just going to say, we were just saying, we were willing to pay
exactly what it was going to take to get a beer up here, in the remote part of Georgia, up a mountain, up a ski lift, but 8 lari, $3, £2.5, cannot beat it. So, cheers to you guys, and cheers to you. And of course, I have to buy our amazing tour guide a beer for putting up with all of our stuff that we've been hassling with over the last few days. So,
thank you, man.
Cheers to you.
Cheers,
Thank you so much.
Have fun.
And
it's amazing.
But what's your tour company called?
It's actually international company. My tour company, personally, I don't have. I'm a freelancer. But I have phone number.
I gave him a chance. I gave him a chance.
Yeah, I know, right?
Anyway, if you want his phone number,
Instagram, so you can contact.
Okay, his Instagram will be in the link in the description because he is an amazing tour guide. Lives in Tbilisi and will take you wherever they want, right?
Exactly.
Wherever they want.
All around Georgia.
And trust me, I've seen this stuff this guy's been putting up with the last couple of days. Not from me, I hope, but yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, guys. Georgians know how to eat. Well, they know how to cook and then they know how to eat, because wherever you go, there's an absolute feast. And as ever, it was delicious. Lunch. Lunch was pretty damn good. Everywhere you go here, the food is fantastic. As always, my favourite, Kubdari. You cannot go wrong with Kubdari. If you're struggling to order in Georgia, order Kubdari, especially in Svaneti. Couldn't film it so much, a bit hard to actually film in a group setting, I must admit. But I've waited to get a little bit of a view of the mountains and finally, little bit of a peek at the view. Check this out, it looks absolutely insane. You can just imagine, I mean, the peaks are huge here. You can just imagine, well, we're basically surrounded by it. If only it was clear. You can't win everything, can you? We're doing pretty well for ourselves. But yeah, they're just peeking through the clouds. The sun is just poking through and you just see those white-capped, well, rigid mountains at the top. Stunning, stunning, stunning view. Right, it was time to head back down the mountain, and now it's cleared up a little. The view's got even better of the ski resort. Honestly, guys, this place blew me away. Anyway, back down into Mestia and time for some food. Alright guys, it's my last day here in Mestia before the long journey back to Tbilisi. I've got to be honest, on the group tour I haven't really had the opportunity to show you, well, the detail of the food that I would have liked. There are a few dishes that I haven't been able to film and show you properly. And the food at my hotel, Gistola hotel, is actually pretty good. So I thought, what better way to spend my last afternoon than having a meal in the hotel and showing you some of the dishes, one, which are good here, and two, which are kind of local to the region in Svaneti. So let's go eat. Oh, it's a lot. Alright guys, the food is on the table, and as you can see, I've ordered far too much, but let's be honest, it wouldn't be a Georgian feast without having far too much on the table. I'll run you quickly through what I've ordered, if I can remember the names of them in Georgian, and then we'll get to the eating. So, first up we have these incredible appetizers. Just look at the colors on them. These are Pkhali, which is like a pounded vegetable with walnut paste. You also have the walnut paste inside aubergine or eggplant. They are delicious. And they've also given me, I didn't ask for it, but they put it on the side. They've given me a red pepper, large red pepper, stuffed with that walnut paste as well. So essentially an appetizer of different types of walnut paste. We also have Chvishtari, which is the cornmeal and the cheese flattened out into the little patties and grilled. Just look how golden and crispy they are. Looks amazing. Tashmijabi, potatoes and cheese. And then this stew, this veal stew called kashashuli. How good does that look? And of course, it would not be a Georgian meal without bread. So we've got two breads from the region, the Kubdari here, the bread stuffed with meat, and then the Lobiani, the one stuffed with bean paste. Looks amazing, doesn't it? Oh, and I forgot to tell you, the sauce, the green Tukmali sauce. Anyway, let's tuck in. All right, it's a little bit difficult to know where to start, to be honest, but I guess the appetizers make sense. And I said when I was showing you, look at the color. I mean, the colors pop. We do eat with our eyes first, and these look insanely good. I haven't actually had these. No, I have had these, but Haven't filmed them for you guys, so I did want to show you these because they are tasty. I'm gonna go with the green one, go for a red one, and then one of those stuffed little eggplants. I actually don't know where I'm gonna put all this food. I have not been to a meal in Georgia at all, anywhere in Georgia, where the table is not covered in food. You're not gonna leave this place hungry. You can see, it really is made out into a paste. You see all those vegetables pounded up and then mixed with those walnuts as well into a paste. It is smooth, it does spread like a paste too, but let's try. Delicious. What about the beetroot one? Both are great. You can taste the herbs in the green one. It's fresh, brightens your mouth up. And of course the beetroot one with that deep red colour has a more earthy flavour. Both are great, both go well with the cheese plate as well if you get a cheese plate to go with it. I think my favourite of all of them is the eggplant, is the aubergine with that walnut paste. Whenever I have it, it's always delicious. You can see the aubergine is just stuffed with that walnut paste, and the aubergine is rolled around as well to make it into that little cylinder. What makes it so good is I think the aubergine is grilled first. So it's soft, it's succulent, it's juicy, and that walnut paste is so savoury. They are cold appetizers, but I think they should be appetizers on every single table you eat at in Georgia. You will not regret that. Right, let's try this Chvishtari. And when we went for the meal at the lady's house, the cooking demonstration, we did see these being made. And if you remember, I can remember actually, there was flour and cornmeal, no, I think it was just cornmeal, but there was corn flour which had been ground up, mixed with cheese, and she made them into little patties, and then put them in the frying pan with hot oil. I distinctly remember the sizzle as it hit the pan and the smell of cheese come up. They were good there, but I've got to say, guys, I've eaten them here, and they are insanely good. It's funny, because you wouldn't expect a hotel to have such good food compared to restaurants and people's homes, but the food here is great. You can see the golden, crispy color that can only come from cheese, and so much cheese put into that. You can almost hear it as you tap it on the outside, but you know on the inside it's gonna be soft and cheesy and unctuous. I mean, I haven't even tried it yet. And this is the one that I like to get, that green sauce. You do have two types. You have the red and you have the green. I prefer the green because it has a sour flavor. It's more sour than the red one. They are both made with plums. This green one is made with the young, unripe plums. And as you would expect, it brings a sourness, but it's synonymous with Georgian cuisine. You will find it on every single table. This one is worth trying and perfect to go with this. Oh yeah. Think of grilled cheese sandwich, but think of the bits that catch the pan. If you're doing it in a pan or under the grill, think of the bits that catch the pan and go caramelized essentially on the pan. Those like really big savory hits of cheesy flavor. That is exactly what this tastes like when it's done well. And then you have that plum sauce which just cuts straight through it. Really, really good combination, delicious. And this one is one which is typical here in the Svaneti region. So I said I wanted to show you some Svaneti cuisine, some dishes that you can, well, not only find up here, but are synonymous with this region, and that is one of them. Before we move on to the veal stew, I just want to show you this, what I'm drinking. It is a pear compote. You get compote all up here, and it's a sweet fruit drink made with, well, fruit, as you would guess. In this case, pears. Sometimes they come nicely balanced and sometimes they're a bit sweet. This one is a touch sweet, so what I do is fill it halfway up and then top up with water just to get that balance right. So you don't want it too sweet, right? Oh, but it is so, so good. It goes with absolutely everything. Not quite as good as beer, but can't be drinking every day, can we? All right, guys, time for the veal stew. Looks amazing, doesn't it, in that little clay pot? It is absolutely packed with coriander and a fresh red onion on top. But you can already tell the quality of the beef or the quality of the veal because it's not lean, it's fatty, and it's just bathed in that rich tomato sauce. And so I'm gonna take a few chunks of that. But you know what I've just realized? I've done it wrong. I've made a complete and utter mistake. What I should be doing is putting this Tashmijabi on first and then letting that sauce seep into it. This is potato and cheese. We've seen alaji, which is cornmeal and cheese, but this is potato and cheese, and it is so stretchy. There's so much cheese in there. So just get some of that on the plate. Again, 2 more dishes here from Svaneti, so I had to try them, especially this Tashmijabi, this potato and cheese. And I say it's full of cheese and you don't want to watch your waistline. I have put on weight, my God. 2 weeks in Georgia, I'm struggling to get the jeans on. Anyway, we shouldn't waste too much time thinking about that, but I cannot wait to try this stew. That stew and that beef is absolutely incredible. You can see the fattiness on it, as I said. And when you eat it, that fat just melts in your mouth and the beefy flavor comes out of it. It's soft, it's been cooked for a long time, but it reminds me a cross between a goulash, maybe like a Hungarian goulash, and an Italian ragu or bolognese type sauce, because it is cooked with tomatoes, onions and garlic. So you get that Italian vibe, but then you get the flavor of the blue fenugreek. And I forget the name of it in Georgian, so let me just check what they call it. They call it uchko suneli. It is a spice which they use a lot up here, blue fenugreek. It has a nuttiness and a fragrance to it that you just do not get from other things. You can tell it's in there straight away, and that's why it reminds me of the goulash with the spice, a little bit of paprika in there too. It is so delicious. Obviously you can eat it any time of year, but it's absolutely perfect when snow's on the ground outside. It is pure comfort food, and that potato is the perfect match. There's another stew up here called ostri, and same again, it's eaten with that potato. In my head, my go-to would be to take some rice with this dish. Maybe I've just been eating too much Asian food, but potatoes and the beef stew, great match. On to the breads, and yeah, there is no chance I'm gonna eat these, but I did want to show you them. Lobiani here, Kubdari here, 2 dishes that you can find. Well, this one, the Lobiani, you can find all over Georgia. And I wanted to show you at the bakery, because sometimes the bakery makes it as well, and it comes slightly different. It comes in softer bread with the stuffing of the bean paste inside. And I know, we have had Kubdari before, but I am not sure if I have had one as good as this. I think the home cooking one, the flavor of the meat on the inside was better, but the bread, the crispiness of the bread in this one rivals, well, it was better than the family one, and it was better in the restaurants than I had. And I would say, to shout it out, because I couldn't film there, Layla, in the center of town, is another fantastic restaurant. Link is in the description. But I still think this Kubdari was better. Maybe let's try the Lobiani, because that's the one that we haven't tried so far. And when I was at the family restaurant, they told me that something this size, either khachapuri or Lobiani or Kubdari, is served 1 per person, as well as all of the rest of the food. I wouldn't even know where to begin, but I told you, it's the bread stuffed with bean paste, red beans, kidney beans, and is absolutely delicious. This one is like a soft flatbread style. You can just see the layer of beans on the inside there, with a little bit of onion and garlic too. Let's try it. I actually love this one. There is so much flavor in those beans. They've been cooked slowly with onion, with garlic, and then mashed up into a paste and put inside there. It's so savory. You actually don't miss the meat. The texture is perfect. It's not grainy, it's not like mush. It just melts away in your mouth as you eat it. But the bread, I said in this place, and it'll probably be the same for the Kubdari, the bread in this place, you could tell it's been cooked under charcoal or wood fibers. You get that flavor from it. It's so crunchy, and it's absolutely perfect with that bean, because the bean, if you eat too much bean, because the beans don't have the most texture, do they? So you want something crunchy, you want something crispy to go with it, and that bread is the perfect companion. All right, guys, the final dish to try on the table before I burst is the Kubdari. Yes, as I said, we've tried it before, but this one is worth having. It's absolutely jam-packed with meat, and you know from when we saw it being made, it's the beef that's cut up into little pieces and mixed with spices and herbs and things like that. Put into the bread, and then it's rolled out and flattened and then baked on that hot stone. And this one, or that hot griddle should I say, and this one, again like the Lobiani, is just made to crisp perfection on the outside. I'm gonna use my hands. It's kind of hands food, isn't it? It's like pizza. You don't want to be using a knife and fork for this one. So yeah. I forgot to say, not only are the spices in there, there's Svaneti salt and a little bit of chili, so you get a chili hit as well. Oh my God. It's like the best meat pie you have ever had. And what I love about these dishes, what I love about these stuffed breads, especially when there's meat inside, the fat from the meat comes out when it cooks and it melts into that bread. And it creates a little doughy, gooey bit. It just gives so much flavor. But then you get the crunch from the outside and the taste from the charcoal. It's so, so good. If I lived in Svaneti, I'd probably be eating this one almost every day. Right, back outside and in the cold. I think I need a bit of a walk after that. My God. Didn't actually, well, it looks like no one's eaten, but I've eaten a lot. Anyway, that is it for this video in the Svaneti region. I hope you enjoyed it. Tried to do as much as I could, given that there was horrendous snow. Just give you a little bit of taste of what there is to do in winter. It's not just a spring, summer and autumn destination. It is a winter destination too, but it's an all year round destination. If I'm being honest, I prefer the autumn and I prefer the spring. But come on, as well, as the dude is clearing the snow from behind me, you cannot really complain when you have views like this. A little bit of hassle walking around in the snow. There's always something to do, and it's just been an absolute pleasure coming out to the remote mountains of Georgia. I've had so much fun. Would I come up here by bus? Maybe. If I had the chance of going on the plane, Vanilla Sky plane, I would definitely take that. It's 40 minutes, or like 30 minutes from Kutaisi. Definitely worth doing. I've seen it come in a few times. It is flying. But from that, guys, if you're long-term watchers, I'll see you guys from my new home in Europe. Take care.